Chapter 34. It took less than 3 hours for Alistair Dixon to be released on his own reconnaissance. By that time, it was almost 9 in the evening and Dicker still had to finish paperwork. When he came home, he was famished and worn out. He glanced at McAdams, who had left the station house before the official booking 2 hours earlier. The lad was sitting at the dining table, open book in front of him. Rena said she'll be back at 10. Tyler should checked his watch, which was 5 minutes ago. I did the booking go. He's already out. Any idea where my wife went? She didn't say, just that she would wait for her to come home for dinner. I hope it's soon. I'm starving. If she waited for me, I'll certainly wait for her. He pulled out his phone in the kitchen, made a quick call to Kevin Nickweed, then he returned to the dining room. I just need to take a quick shower. I'll be back in a moment for you. What was the secretive phone call? McAdams asked. No secret at all. Just didn't want to disturb you. I called Kevin about the CC tapes on the night of the murder. There are no security cameras on Belford's block, either on the street or in the house. That's to be expected. Most people here don't even have alarms. The closest camera is at the intersection of Forest and Main, which is 3 blocks away, but it's a big intersection. You're hoping to find the minivan. I'm sure I'll find a minivan. I'm hoping it'll be an important minivan. I told Kevin to pull the tape, see if we can have any luck. Good idea. I shouldn't be long. Just want to get clean. Yeah, take your time, boss. The hot shower is very therapeutic. When Diego came back into the drawing room, Rena returned, and the table had been cleared and set. She came out of the kitchen with a smile and kissed his cheek. I heard you arrested someone for the professor's murder. We arrested someone, but not the murderer, unfortunately. Decker had dressed in sweats, but he was at the scene and was in the house illegally, but he never called the cops. Where were you, by the way? I teach an evening class 2 times a week. Of course, he smiled. Near hop in the kitchen. Sure, there's a plate of salmon over buckwheat. Salad's in the fridge. I'll get it, McAdams said. Thanks. Rena regarded her weary husband. I'm glad you're making progress. 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Better than the other way around. I don't think it's him, by the way, Decker said. The guy we arrested, Alistair Dixon, the RA. What a memory. Why don't you think it's him? He's sneaky and a weasel, but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would drag a body up a hill, shoot the woman in the head and be cool to go on with his life. Plus, he agreed to take a polygraph. I agree with you. For what it's worth, McAdams put down the tray and the bowl of salad. He's a terrible liar. When he finally started talking, he'd talk details. Decker dumped salad on his plate, then topped it with 2 fillets and a spoonful of buckwheat. After his meeting with Dr. Zhao, he said he walked over to Belford's house. He remembers seeing a minivan parked on the street. He also remembers the van was clean, meaning it had recently been washed and garaged. He turned to McAdams. It might not be significant, but let's see if the neighbour owns a minivan. If he or she doesn't, let's check out Farrago or Rosa and find out what cars they drive. Right, McAdams said. What about Zhao? She was at Bagel Mania at around 6 in the morning, and as of right now, I don't have a clear motive for her killing Belford. And so she's out of the running, McAdams said. No, but she's not at the top of the list. But as long as you have DMV on the phone, check her vehicle as well. Who is on top of your list? Serena asked. It changes. Right now, I'm really interested in Dixon, but I'm also really interested in Farrago and Rosa. Both have motivation. Farrago loved her too much. Rosa hated her too much anyway. Call my DMV, Tyler. Find out their vehicles. Rena said, can you let the boy eat first? No. McAdams said, he just wants to steal my salmon. He's ravenous. I'll guard it for you, Tyler. Thank you, Rena. Someone cares. He got up from the table and went into the kitchen to use the house phone. To Decker, she said, don't you dare put your fork anywhere near Tyler's plate. Who, me? I bet you are the type of kid who ate the fudge ribbon out of the chocolate ripple ice cream. And I bet you're the type of kid who lectured my type of kid on the meaning of fairness. Yeah, I was a goody-goody. She paused. I really don't miss that aspect of my personality, and I have you to thank for it. Why is that? You have a bit of a psycho and a lie in you. Not enough to be callous and amoral, but enough to get your job done. As I recall, you were always a pretty good liar, just for Shalon Bayit. So now you just justify your bad behaviour. I just may have to steal his fish. You will not. How did your class go? Big turnout tonight. What was the topic? The Purim story. I think they thought I was serving free brews. McAdams came home. Sal drives a Toyota. Rosa drives a Lexus. Farrago drives a black Beamer. But Rosa's wife, Shannon, has a dark blue Sierra minivan. And Farrago's wife, Olivia, has a Sienna minivan in black. That is interesting. What about the neighbours? Michael and Kristen Canterbury. Neither owns a minivan, but there's one person on the block. Decker pondered over a fork full of fish. Maybe we can get Alistair Dixon to remember a few more details about the minivan. Maybe. McAdams sat down and speared a piece of fish. This is good. Thanks. Rena thought a moment. Which one had the older model minivan? McAdams checks his note. Rosa is 5 years old. Farrago is 2 years old. Okay, and if the minivan was garage, someone was taking good care of it. Who has the younger children? Right. Decker waved a fork in a direction. Good. McAdams got up and came back with his pad. He began his search. Rosa is 57 years old and Farrago is 42. Both have children according to their bios. How old are the kids? Rena asked. Doesn't say. McAdams answered. Let me just hold on. Nope, that's not going to work. A minute passed. Okay, here we go. There's an Alexis Rosa who got into Harvard a year ago. How'd you find that out? Decker said. I'm connected with the university directory, so she's probably around 19. Hold on. His hands flew over the keyboard. There is a boy named Stephen Rosa who graduated last year. So they are Rosa's kids. They're older, and if they aren't his protege, he might even have others at home who are younger. What about Farrago? Decker asked. Nothing. The Harvard director under that name, but that doesn't mean anything, as you well know. I'm just figuring that a guy like Rosa would want his kids in Harvard. Who doesn't? Anyway, Farrago is 42. The kid could be college age. Decker said it would mean he had a kid in his early 20s. It's possible, but all things considered, he's more likely to have younger kids than Rosa. Rena concluded. A lot of the houses here have one car garage. After dinner, why don't you drive by both houses and see which, if any of them, have a minivan parked outside the house? Good idea, Decker said. Let me change out of sweats. First, finish your dinner, Rena said. I like to get going. It might be a long night. That's why you need to finish your dinner. You can't work on empty, and don't wolf the food down. You'll get indigestion. Rena, I might be getting on in years, but I know how to eat, okay? Okay, darling, she raised her eyebrows. The rest of the meal was silent. Finally, Decker stood up. May I be excused? Stop it. After he stomped out of the room, Rena said, he does get indigestion, just trying to save him a night of misery. Tyler said his age is a touchy subject. I know. She stood up and began to clear the dishes. I shouldn't have said anything, especially in front of you. I will. Like bad gas, I'd eventually pass. McAdams laughed and help her clear. A minute later, Decker was dressed and walked into the kitchen, where Rena was rinsing dishes. Leave them in the sink. I'll do them when I get home. Don't bother. I'm going to throw them into the dishwasher. She turned around, straightened his tie, and grinned. You look dapper. I've worn this suit 1,000,000 times. You still look dapper. She kissed his cheek. Can I pack you something? Don't bother. Indigestion and all. Oh, stop. She hit his shoulder. McAdams said, I'll wait for you outside. Rena returned to her husband. I'm sorry. It's not you. I'm just tired. I was looking forward to some R&R until someone mentioned a drive-by. Oops. It's a good idea, damn it. Maybe you should quit your day job and work for Greenberry PD. Then again, it's hard enough living with me. Working for me would be impossible. You're not hard to live with, mostly. Thanks a lot. Go. She stood on her tippy toes and kissed his lips. He kissed her back. I'm off. The night isn't getting any younger, and neither am I. Peter, stop it. Rena complained. Complaining at my age is like Social Security and Medicare. It's an entitlement. To take that right away from me is just plain un-American. Rosa lived in a modest brick and wood side bungalow, and typical for the area, had a one-car garage. The minivan registered in his wife's name was parked on the street and caked with several layers of dirt and salt. The windshield was covered with a thin layer of grime. It was in the high teens. Outside, with the wind chill, it felt like it was below zero. Cars can get very dirty very fast, Decker said, but this one looked like it'd been washing a lot. This one looks like it's been washed in a long time. McGonagall was shivering. Where's Alexis? Either he's out or it's in the garage. He uses the garage and keeps his wife car on the street. That sounds like Rosa. Decker rocked on his toes. It's 10:30 at night, and Rosa's not going anywhere. We can deal with him tomorrow. Let's check out Farrago as a suspect. He's still right there at the top. They just put them in front of another brick bungalow. This one had a 2-car garage. No minivans were parked on the street. Decker pulled out in front of the house, but didn't get out. He said, looks like both cars are garage, meaning between the two of them, it's more likely to be Farrago's minivan than Rosa's. But since there are gazillions of minivans, we can't say for sure whose car it was, except that it didn't belong to her neighbour on the right. Decker crammed her. He said, I was thinking, that's always dangerous. Listen to me. Didn't you told us there was 2 coffee cups on the living room table? Yeah, the ceramic mark with the faces, which we did not see when we were in the house. Someone cleaned up. That's a given, but if Dixon is to be believed, she was drinking coffee with someone before she was murdered. So what does that sound like to you, McAdams? She was friendly to whoever showed up. Friendly, cordial, civil. If Raga would have shown up at past 1 in the morning because we know where he was until 1 in the morning, do you think she would have bothered serving him coffee? Do you think she would have even opened the door? Yeah, she was pretty fed up with the relationship. What about Rosa? Katrina hated him, but he was head of the department. No way she'd slam the door in his face. I agree. She would have invited him in. Do you think she'd have made him coffee? Like I said, he was the head of the department. Maybe she would have made him coffee, but do you think she would have served him coffee in a cute little ceramic mugs with faces? Yeah, that sounds a little girly. McGann paused. Then again, Faraga's wife, Olivia. Bingo. Decker said Faraga admitted having words with his wife around 11:15 in the evening. He swore to her that the fair was over and he really was working late at his office, but it didn't sound like she believed him. She goes over the house to check up on him. She knocks on the door and Belfer invites her in. Why would she do that? McAdams asked. I don't know that she did, but knowing the kind of woman Belfer was, Oz would think she would have been polite. Maybe Katrina invited Olivia inside because she wanted to apologize. Maybe Olivia asked to look around to make sure her husband wasn't hiding, and Belfort agreed. And they got into an argument about Olivia pushed her. Would you really sit down and have coffee with your husband's mistress? Like Aldo Fraga said, our Olivia Fraga is from Europe. Civilized women put up with their men's sexual vagaries, I suppose, but only up to a point, don't you think? Yes, I do. And for Olivia Fraga, perhaps that point had finally been reached.